what are you addicted to versus what are you committed to?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our video podcast. My name is Esteban Baez, and today I have with me Dr. Ken Barrett with Inspiration and Results. And our topic today, it's all about addictions. Hey, Dr. Ken.
Hey, this is, I always say this is like one of my favorite subjects. This is a particularly great subject for me. As you may recall, I have a background in psychology. I studied psychology, and my emphasis was going to be in addiction treatment.
Okay.
That's really what got me motivated to get into psychology in the first place and start this path. This is 30 years ago. So I'm very passionate about addictions. One of the things that I will ask the viewers to look at and really pay attention to is, what are you addicted to versus what are you committed to?
Okay.
And if you're listening, I'm going to encourage you to actually do a couple of journal pages on that. Write it down on a big sticky thing or on your whiteboard in your office, and really start to take note.
So let me ask one question before you give the exercise. What's the difference, Dr. Ken, between a commitment and an addiction?
Well, that's a great question. So a commitment is something that you see for yourself in the future. You see it benefiting you. So, so somebody could be committed to being lean and fit, and they could be addicted to eating pizza and junk food and drinking beer.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
So
it doesn't coincide. It doesn't match the goal, right?
It doesn't match the goal. So when a commitment is something that this is appealing to my higher self. This is going to make me more of who I am ultimately. Okay. But I may have to give up short-term gratification.
Okay.
An addiction is something that it's all about short-term gratification. If you're a smoker, it's about having that cigarette. It's not about maybe giving up the cigarettes and then pursuing a life of health. Does that make sense?
Right.
Yeah.
So what's the assignment?
So the assignment is make a list of things that you are committed to.
Okay.
Like, I want to be fit. I want to be sexy. I want to look great. I want to be strong. I want to be agile. Things you're addicted to is, I want to sleep late. I want to be lazy and watch TV. And I want to eat pizza and drink beer, whatever it is, whatever fattening food, whatever your habits are.
Okay.
Yeah. So the first step, and there's a lot of strategies to get healthy and to get to these places, but the first thing to do is to get clear. Are you really willing to take on what it takes? And I just gave you the example of health, but really this is any area. Listen, if you want to sleep till noon and stay up all night playing video games, you probably won't be a successful entrepreneur.
Okay.
If you want to get to sleep early so you can get up early and, hit it hard on whatever your projects are, make your sales calls, get on the phone, get uncomfortable, then you probably will be a successful entrepreneur. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And yeah. So these are things that you could be committed to rather than addicted to. And if you start looking at it, like, an addiction is something, it really is a habit. And you could be addicted to positive things too, but for the moment, we're just focused on addictions being negative.
Okay.
So you could
an addiction's a habit, you were saying, right? So
yeah.
So could it be also something that you can't? Because sometimes people say, I have an addiction, I can't stop it, no matter how much I try to stop this thing.
So and that's right. Or, maybe you have to identify it as an addiction. I had a client, brilliant guy, engineer, couple of materials patents in his name, and we started working together, increasing his business, and it worked.
Okay.
And he came to me one day, and it's so funny because as we work together, we tease out all these different things that are holding him back. And he said, "Listen, I think I'm an alcoholic." And I said, "Oh, do you want to handle it?" So I gave him some strategies to handle it. I'm gonna share some of those with you today. And he did, and he got into AA, and he cleaned up his life, and his business exploded. He went from 2 locations to 12 locations. That's
incredible.
Yeah. So, he was netting about $600K a year. He was thrilled. Okay. So, identifying these things as addictions, I would say, our subconscious mind tends to soften things that we're addicted to.
Okay.
The way an addiction stays in place is you rationalize it to yourself. Well, it's not so bad. I'm just having a couple of beers with my friends, doing it every night, but so it takes a hard look at yourself to say, maybe this is a problem. And I'll give you an example that I think is relevant today more than ever, is people get on Facebook and they spend 4 hours on Facebook.
Okay.
Now, you could say, I'm just on Facebook. Yeah, I'm just, wasting time, whatever. But, if you spend 4 hours a day studying a subject or 4 hours a day working on your business, how successful would you be?
Right.
The time on Facebook. And then you could rationalize it and say, well, I'm just doing research. Are you?
Mm-hmm.
So that's something, when you identify it as an addiction specifically, it has a little bit of a sting to it. And that sting it will propel you into making a change.
Okay.
For example, I had a client, and I don't do this with every client. All my clients are individuals, and I don't want you to think I'm insensitive, so please hear me out. But she said that she gained weight. She gained a lot of weight.
Okay.
Her husband was no longer romantically interested in her, and she couldn't motivate herself to diet, eat right, and exercise.
Okay.
So I said to her, "How long have you been fat?" She said, "What? How long have you been fat?" And that has a sting to it. By the way, I didn't mean to hurt this woman's feelings, but what she was doing, in her own words, was torpedoing her marriage.
Right.
So
right.
I wanted her to feel the pain of what she's doing to herself.
Okay.
We can do that to ourselves as well. Really, get uncomfortable a little bit and take a harsh look at what you're doing, the actions you're taking all the time, because that's what gives you your life.
Exactly.
Make sense?
It does.
So she contacted me 3 months later. She had lost a bunch of weight. She's on board. She thanked me so much for the conversation. And that was just one conversation.
Wow. Look at that.
Yeah.
So the power, there's your dog.
There's my dog. Yeah.
Yeah. So the power of using language, right? And calling it and identify your rituals, your patterns, your habits, your addictions. I like that, Dr. Ken, that take on and how that has a sting to it. It can really propel you. You can use it to propel and get out of the situation. That's awesome.
Absolutely. And before we get off, I'm going to give you guys a key to use language to effectively keep your positive habits in place.
Okay.
So, so we'll make sure that we do that. But before we do that, I just wanted to talk a little bit about how to identify these addictions specifically. Anything that provides a loss of power in your life.
Okay.
That's how I'd like you. Yeah. Anything. So if you're noticing that you're not experiencing, your spouse is telling you you're on your phone too much, your spouse is saying, I'm noticing spouses because it's another person, another opinion.
Yeah.
But you're noticing that you're drinking, it's hard to get up in the morning.
Right.
You're noticing your health is declining. I had a patient who his wife came to me. This guy had come to me for years as a patient, and great guy. His wife said, "I'm trying to get him," because he had retired, and that was the worst thing in the world for him, in my opinion. It's the worst thing in the world for a lot of people. I don't think people are meant to retire. We're not meant to do nothing. But she said that it's tough to get him to wait until noon to start drinking. So he would start drinking first thing out of bed.
Okay.
He'd start with vodka and orange juice or whatever, and he'd drink all day until he went to sleep.
Right.
So that's a problem, but he didn't see it as a problem. His wife saw it as a problem. She was trying to save him, but the key is he would have to realize on his own what a problem it was. And that's an extreme example, but yeah. And I ended up saying something to him about it because I was concerned about his health.
Good.
Yeah. And as you can imagine, it didn't go well.
Oh, it didn't go well.
No.
All right. So, but it's important to identify anything that is a loss of power, right? That brings you the loss of power or the loss of control, maybe, that you can't, that then you should identify that as an addiction. Okay.
Yeah. And the loss of control, I don't know if it's easy for people to see because they convince themselves that it's a choice. So, the loss of power in an area, like if you said, well, my relationship's not going well why? Well, yeah, my wife says I drink too much. Oh, or I'm having a hard time focusing at work. I'm tired because I'm groggy because I'm hungover. Oh, those are examples of losses of power.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah. Or I've gained so much weight because I this didn't used to be an issue. Now all of a sudden, I just keep gaining and gaining and gaining. So that's a loss of control, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Exactly.
So I hope those examples are good. I hope people understand we're not trying to be insensitive here by any means. We're trying to be helpful and let everybody know that, addictions is a real thing and there's a way to stop an addiction and turn that into something empowering.
Good. Yeah. So as a treat, I have a little exercise that people can do. I give you the exercise initially, and that's going to be critical. But when you go to do something that you're trying to quit, let's say you want to spend less time on your phone, or you don't want to log into Facebook at night, or you're trying to avoid snacking after a certain time, or you want to cut down on your drink, whatever it is, or you want to stop smoking. Don't say, I can't do that. If somebody offers you a cigarette, if somebody offers you a drink, whatever, slice of pizza, you don't say, I can't do that. You say, I don't do that. And it seems like a subtle difference, but it's a critical distinction. Here's why. A research study was done on this on women working out. And if one group, they said, say, I can't miss a workout. Another group, they said, I don't miss workouts.
Okay.
So the group that said, I can't miss a workout, they only worked out 10% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
The group that said, I don't miss a workout, they made 80% of their workouts.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just by shifting one word, don't?
Just by shifting one word.
I don't.
Yeah, I don't miss a workout.
I don't miss a workout.
Rather than I can't miss a workout.
I can't miss the workout. Why is that, doctor? Is there an explanation?
Yeah, but you think about that. Yeah, there is. Because I don't miss a workout means now I'm identifying with it's my choice. I don't do that.
Okay.
The I can't is an outside force, like your parents telling you not to do it.
Wow, that's a mind-blowing thing. I'm like, wait a minute, this is huge. Just one word.
Just one word.
This is great. Just shifting from can't to don't.
Yeah.
Instead of I can't, say I don't do that.
Yep.
I don't miss workouts. Wow. That's huge.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Ken. I'm gonna use
Sure, my pleasure.
I'm gonna use
Good. Yeah.
So great. So those of you that are watching, I hope you got massive value from today's topic. Dr. Ken is currently taking appointments right now. So if you want to have a free conversation with Dr. Ken, all you got to do is go to the website, drkenbarrett.com. That's Dr. Ken, D-R-K-E-N, Barrett, B-A-R-R-E-T-T.com. If you want to learn more about him, just go to inspirationandresults.com or check out our content on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook, Instagram, all the social media channels. Dr. Ken, thank you so much for being here today. This was a great conversation.
Thank you. Enjoyed it.
All right. See you guys on the next episode.